What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today you're going to go ahead and help me build this 7 GPU NVIDIA Ethereum mining rig. So let's go ahead and dive into it. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today we're going GoPro and we're going to be building our next NVIDIA mining rig. This is going to be a 6 GPU mining rig. So let's go ahead and go over everything that we're going to be using today, and then we'll jump into our build. So over here on the left hand side, we have a few different cards. We have the 3060. Now this is the EVGA, and this is actually a version 1, which I'm excited about. We have 3 of the 1660 Ti's by MSI. I love the gaming X ones. Those are like the twin 7 ones. They're phenomenal. I love these cards. I only have 2 boxes, but there are 3 of those. And those are the 1660 Ti's. We have a NVIDIA 3060 by Gigabyte, and then we also have here a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti as well that we will have for NVIDIA. So 3060 Ti, 3060, 3 of the 1660 Ti's, and a 3060 by itself. We will be mining Ethereum with this build, and we are going to be powering those with this guy. So Altered Component actually recommended this Superflower. Now it's a 650 watt and it is a bronze, but what I love about this thing, and once we get into it I'll show you guys, it is fully modular. It was on sale on Newegg, and I can't wait to show you guys the back of it because there's no like assigned ports. They're universal across the board. So we'll look at that once we get into it some more. We are also going to be using a 750 watt HP power supply with a breakout board, and all of these will go ahead and get connected together with our Asrock H110 Pro BTC motherboard. In addition, we do have a GPUrisers.com solid state drive. We're going to use the GPU Risers splitters, and then we do have our PCI cables 6 to 6+2. Now, something different. We have 6 of the AAA Wave orange GPU risers, and take a look at these guys. I have not had these before. These are the GPU risers here, and they're actually really slick. So it has the reinforced slot. It has the butterfly clip on the back. We have 8 capacitors, as well as our 6-pin and another 6-pin on the side. And finally, we do have our gold-plated USB port as well. So that'll be a lot of fun to use, and these look great. And they have AAA Wave right on the side there, version 009S-PR0 Pro, PRO. Very cool. And then, believe it or not, the PCI card actually matches it, which is pretty slick. And this one is orange as well, and it does have an LED right on the left-hand side too. So this would be cool. I haven't used these before. That'll be great. We have an iFixit kit that we'll be using to put everything together, a must-have. And finally, here is our frame. Look at this thing. This is the mother load here. So this is one of the GPU risers, or I'm sorry, one of the AAA Wave, too many names, one of the AAA Wave frames. It has, let's check out how many fans. We have 5 across the back blowing air across our cards. We have 4 on the left-hand side sucking the air out that way. And we have 4 on the other side sucking the air out that way. So air is going to come across the cards, and any heat that kind of spews in the middle is going to get sucked out the sides of that as well. Now, this frame is a 10 GPU frame. That is a lot of cards to stack in this area. It is recommended and sold as an 8 to 10 GPU frame. I am using 6 today, but we're set up with power for expansion and with our frame for expansion. We actually went ahead and won a, what is it? It is a 3060 Ti right off of the Newegg Shuffle yesterday. So I'm super excited about that. So we have 6 cards to install today, and then we'll have a 7th. So we have plenty of room for expansion. A lot of these cards are smaller too. Your 3060 is smaller, your 1660 Ti's are smaller. The gigabytes are much, much bigger. So it'll be great. We'll have plenty of room to expand in this rig. And with the Asrock H110 Pro board, we have plenty of expandability with that motherboard. So let me go ahead and get our table cleared off. Let's go ahead and unbox our GPUs, and we'll take a look at those and the motherboard, and then we'll get building. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at our GPUs. So we have quite a few different ones here. So take a look at these. We have a Gigabyte 3060 and a 3060 Ti. Look at them. They look identical in every single way. You would not know much of a difference once you get into it. So this one here versus this one here, we could take a look and see. This one is the 3060. I had to check a look at the back. And the 3060 Ti just has a little T at the end of it there. So these cards are almost identical, but look how beautiful that card looks there. Very cool looking shroud on the back. Reminds me like the Sapphire Nitro ones, which is pretty cool. Now, there is actually a BIOS switch on the back of these, which is not as common. There's an OC one, and then you have the other one as well, a silent side on the back there that you can slide it over, which is pretty nifty. So we'll see how these do. We have, look how much smaller, an EVGA 3060, as we talked about before. This was one of the version 1s, and you can take a look on the back here, and you can tell that by looking at our product number, 12G P53657KR. You can look these up and see what version they are. So we do have that, and this one we've had for quite a long time, and we got through the Newegg Shuffle. In the back here, all the same, we have our 3 of our MSI, and these are the MSI Twin 7 GeForce GTX 1660 Ti's. I love these cards. They look awesome. They run amazing. And for the watts that you get with these things, man, they are a no-brainer. And we have 3 of these, all used, all pre-owned. Those are used that I bought secondhand off of Facebook Marketplace. And then our 3060 in the back, we won from the Newegg Shuffle. And then these 2 are actually purchased brand new, the 3060 and the 3060 Ti. So taking a look at our Asrock board that we do have here. This is the H110 Pro BTC. So we have 1 stick of 8 gigs in it. You don't need 8 gigs, but I got a great deal on 16 gigs, 2 DIMMs, so we went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. This board has an 8-pin in the back for power. And then the nice thing is we have all of these slots down the side. We're never going to fill all those slots with this build today, but there's some room for expandability as needed. This one is actually a gift from Chump Change XD. Not sure if you guys have visited his YouTube channel yet, but please go over and check him out. He is another crypto miner in the YouTube space. Now, there is a Molex port at the bottom, as well as a Molex port at the top. You do need to go ahead and plug those in to provide additional power that will go to the adapters, which are the risers that we do plug directly in to all of these slots. And we'll start at the top and go directly down, white, black, white, black, white, black for the first 6 and be good to go. Last thing I want to show you guys. So we talked about this frame before from AAA Wave. One of the reasons I went with this frame was this exact reason. So I have another one of them. Ooh, that sounds terrible. Right under here. Check this out. Fully stackable in every way. Okay, so we have 2 of these right here, and then I actually have a 3rd one in the other room that my Scarlet Witch mining rig is currently, that we have over there, that has a variety of 570s in it. So my goal is to actually go 3 high, as long as the airflow is good, which based off the way these are designed with our airflow out the sides and our airflow in the back, we should be good and not get too much heat that's kind of stewing in a certain area, especially in our mining room. So it'd be awesome to be able to take the density of 3 total rigs, stack them on top of each other, and stick them right there in our mining room. So that's my game plan with these and why I've picked up 3 total of these frames and the P12 cooling fans that you guys see there from Arctic. So let's get this pulled down. We'll put this back where it was, underneath our table here. And I think that's it. So our next step, I'm gonna get the motherboard installed. I'm gonna get our 2 power supplies installed, and then we'll check back around and show you guys my progress. Okay guys, before we go ahead and install our ATX power supply, I wanted to show you the back side of this and why it kind of got me excited. So you can see, like, take a look, it's more of like a proprietary system for the connections on the back. Your motherboard's definitely different. It has the total amount of pins at the end, just a little more condensed. But take a look, all of the additional ones are broken out by universal and universal. There's no like, these are for the CPU, and these are for VGA, and these are for SATA. So I really, really like this here, the way they designed this. So kudos to the team over at Superflower. So let's go ahead and get this installed. We got our motherboard installed nicely, good to go. We have our server power supply, 750 watt, installed with our breakout board. We used a really strong double-sided tape is what I use on these, because they don't securely sit into this style of frame. This one will go ahead and attach right here at the bottom. So let me go ahead and get that installed, and then our next discussion will be installing GPUs. Okay guys, so motherboard installed, check. We have our Superflower 650 watt ATX power supply installed, which is awesome. We did have to move back our support bar in order for that to fit in properly, but it'll work. I made sure and I tested it. We also have our 750 watt HP power supply installed as well. In addition to that, you can see in the back, we have our GPUrisers.com solid state drive installed and wired for the SATA. I wanted to get that done before we put a bunch of GPUs in the way. Other than that, I installed a power button. I don't really plan to use the power button at all, but I put it in place just in case I ever need it. It makes it simple and easy if you just need to do a quick power off, power back on, versus messing around with the power supplies. So I always like to install those in my boards, but I do set up AC power up so that when the board does reboot, you know, when it gains power back, it does start right back up. That's always a good thing to do within the BIOS. So let's get our cards installed. What I did want to show you was within everything that comes with our board here, the one thing, or with our GPU risers, the one thing that bothers me that I don't recommend is this 6-pin to SATA adapter to power your risers. You know, this part would go into our ATX power supply off of one of the strands, and this would go into the riser itself. I don't know why AAA Wave sends these. This is very questionable within the mining scene. There's been a lot of people exposing how SATA has burnt ends or a lot of problems or melts, and it's like, in my eyes, yes, statistically based off of the hardware stats, this should be okay for the risers. I think it's rated for like 54 watts or something like that, but why risk it? Why risk it? All this money and all this investment, why risk the fact of this? So I recommend you take these and you put them where they belong, which is in the trash. Okay, so let's continue on here. So we have our first riser, and we're gonna go with our biggest card first, which is, this one is the, it should be the 3060, it's the 3060. I want the 3060 Ti here. Let's get that plugged in. Good to go. I like that butterfly clip, that's nice. And we do have plenty of room to spread these out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put one screw in at first. And I'm gonna come a little bit away from the fans here, and we're gonna start in the second slot. And we're gonna put one screw in each GPU first, just to see how everything ends up lining up. You know, I really don't know what it's gonna be like. We only got 6 GPUs in an 8 GPU frame, so we'll see, you know, plenty of room for activities, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and put our adapter card aside with the USB cable. Let's open up our second one here, and we'll pull that riser out, and we'll go with the next big one here. I always like to push hard enough that you can hear the butterfly clip actually pop. Like, that always just makes me feel much, much better. And we're going to go ahead and give it a whole GPU space, and then we're going to go with the next one, because we got lots of room. Now, as we start to get more GPUs in this rig, we'll go ahead and move these around a little bit as needed, but for right now, this works out nicely. And if you guys are interested, the screwdriver we're using is from the iFixit kit. I'll put a link down below to this. The iFixit kit is pretty much a staple in the crypto mining community. A lot of people use these. We're very happy with them. The kit is great. It has a little bit of everything. You only end up using a very small amount of the items in it traditionally, but the other items in those are really handy to have when you actually need them. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I think we'll go down the line here with our 1660s. Come on, where's that snap? I need the snap. There we go. Okay, we'll skip a spot. Keep going here. And then, as I said before, we'll go down through, get everything in there once we're fully happy with it, with the way all the spacing works out and stuff. And let's open another one here. Man, at some point I'd love to build a full 1660 Ti with these MSIs. I love these cards. So efficient. I found they were a little easier to come by for a while than the Supers. That has since changed. I'm finding these are a little bit easier to come by now, but for the longest time that was the case. But the Supers now, you can buy the 1660 Supers brand new. They still actually make them. I mean, granted, you pay a pretty penny now, especially for brand new. A lot of these older cards I really don't recommend picking up brand new. I always like to find them on Facebook Marketplace, offers up. eBay's not bad. eBay just has a lot of fees along with it, which always make things a little more difficult. Oh, putting that in. Oh yeah, we were right. I was like putting that in backwards. Okay, that's good. Nice. All right, one more. The last one, the smallest one. I'll have to see. The 3060s recently, they've been doing really well on Ravencoin. So we will have to see once we get into things with profitability, see what the rig makes and then what we're doing for watts and everything. We'll have to go ahead and see. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, interesting. So something we might run into as a challenge, I just noticed. It won't affect me now, but in my next GPU it will. It sits up on top of this, so I'm going to have to make an adjustment to the power supply when I add another. I'm going to have to get the power supply to turn this way, so I might have to I might have to remove this fan and then put the power supply long ways on my next on the next GPU, I think, is what we'll run into. Not as much on this one, but on the next one, I think we're definitely going to run into it. It actually seems to be affecting a little bit right now. All right, let me see if I can fix that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I did need to remove the one fan on the left-hand side here, the way that they're mounted, in order for this to fit properly and to not affect any of our GPU risers. I could put the fan on the outside of the case, but it's kind of pointless with the way that the power supply blocks it. So what's next? So I'm going to get our additional screws in. All the cards are kind of off to this way a little bit. I think it's because of one screw in versus two. But once that's finished, I'm going to go ahead and get started in wiring up all of our PCI cables, which always takes forever and is like the worst cable management. But we'll take care of that, and then I'll check back in with you guys and show you guys the progress we've made. Okay, miners, we have made progress, of course, without lots of snags. You guys know how that is. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look out in the back, then we'll circle back here to the front. So we'll cruise around here. Okay, so this rig's been fun to build, but there's no way that these rigs can hold 10 GPUs realistically. It's not just for the spacing. Like, I guess if you wanted, just look, you could, if you really had these up against together that much, like this is 6. My other rig has 7, it would fit there. But it's not just the spacing between the cards and stuff like that. Another thing is like your cabling. So trying to get a view here. If you guys look, that's kind of weird because it's on my chest, my GoPro. I'm trying to get a better view. Here, the challenge is there's so much cabling in this setup right here, and I think a lot of it has to do with these fans. It's just, this rig, being honest, completely transparent, I never fluff things for you guys. Do not buy this rig if you're looking to put 10 GPUs in it. It's just, it's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. You'll be very frustrated with it. As I said, this is 6, and especially with all these fans too. I actually had one fan, powered it on, you can see here, you hear it? It doesn't really even spin. And then I think you can probably pop this off. Yeah, look at this. I literally just popped this off. The end of this plastic came off of here, and it looks like, yeah, it's shot. So trash, unfortunately. But anyways, let's get back into things as to kind of where we stand here. So we'll swing around the front now that we kind of got that all figured out. So right down here, as you guys can see, we have all of our PCI connectors for our adapter cards are in there, which that worked out nicely. Other than that, I'm trying to think of any other challenges. Oh, I booted. We tried to boot and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't popping up in Hive OS, and I don't know why. For some reason in my mind, I was thinking that the solid state drive already had a previous rig on it. We were good, we registered. Nope, that was not the case. So what I did was I unplugged all of the GPUs and I plugged in this guy. I just got this. The Kuman 7-inch display. I just got this in recently. I watched Chump Change XD uses a lot of these, and a few people had recommended them. I didn't have time to figure out how to build out this frame. It's pretty cool looking, but also looks really confusing because there's no instructions, so that'll be fun. So I just kind of grabbed it. I mean, look at this thing. This is all this is. It's just like a board you plug in via USB, and then it has HDMI, but unfortunately the H110 Pro does not have HDMI in it. So I have a little converter that goes into DVI, but I went ahead and powered it up, and it was like, oh, first time boot, new rig. I was like, wait, what? Like, what is going on here? So that definitely threw me off. So I think I've worked out all the kinks. I think I'm ready to power up with you guys and hopefully not embarrass myself. But I like to be transparent. Like, I ran into multiple snags with this build, and a lot of it was just little odd ends, you know? It happens. So I'm gonna reach in here, I'm gonna power up our server power supply, we're gonna power on our Super Flower power supply, we're gonna hit our on button here. Oh, the fans are spinning, it's insane. So the cool thing is if you put your hand off to the side, you can feel the air blowing out, which is really, really nice. And then of course here, the air is blowing, see, nothing on the backside is blowing towards us across the cards here. So should do pretty well. Take a look at this little screen. That's awesome. I can't wait to get it in a frame and like set and ready to go. You know what would be cool? We should hit up Chump Change. Chump Change, if you hear me now, if you watch this, you should 3D print some really cool cases for these that you can mount these in and everything. That'd be so cool. Have a little stand with it. That'd be nice. You heard it here first. Let's do it. Or I wonder if Man Electron has a 3D printer, because he had sent over that. I wonder if he did the printing on the box that he has. So we have multiple cards showing up here, which is awesome, which is good. If we swap over here to Hive OS, you guys can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 total GPUs. So yes, everything is showing up, and it's only 12:30 a.m. I call that a victory. So let me go ahead and get some overclock settings in here, and then we'll see kind of how this rig's doing, and then we'll jump over to Hive OS or to what to mine to determine, you know, what the profitability is per day on this rig and what our watt consumption is and all that fun stuff. So I'll be back here in just a moment. Okay guys, so we're over on the computer and we spent some time going in and overclocking our GPUs. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So our Gigabyte RTX 3060 Ti is performing phenomenally, 45.93 mega hash. That thing is crushing it. We then have our EVGA 3060 as well as our Gigabyte 3060, both Samsung memory. We luck out there. We're about 36. We've seen some spikes into 37 there, which is expected with the 3060s. We then have 3 of our MSI 1660 Ti's. These are on the Micron memory. These, it took me a little while to nail down a overclock setting that fit, but thankfully with these we see about 31.5 mega hash with these here. So let's talk about our watts. So in HiveOS right now, it's telling us we're using 575. But I have a voltage meter on this right now for the entire rig. The entire rig right now, and we're using about 655 watts. So never believe HiveOS, especially when you're trying to look at your profitability. I don't recommend it at all. So that puts us at, let's go ahead and jump over to what to mine. And in what to mine, we've added in our hash rate, 215.6, our power of 655, and in the current state of Ethereum, which is on January 9th at 12:45 a.m. in the morning, Ethereum's not looking too good right now. If we go ahead and take a look, look at this. Oh, 3,100 is so bad. Don't look, guys, don't look. So, our revenue per day, $10.14. Our profit per day, $9.23. And our profit per month is $276.88. And this is during a time period where things are low. I can't wait to see what this rig makes when the market has flipped and is that 4,000, 4,100 area. Oh, I can't wait at all. So guys, let's go ahead and jump back over to our camera. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. We have labeled this rig. We've adopted over that name of Wolverine and bumped it over there. Man, the cooling on these, it's doing so well, especially in this room. If I go ahead and take a look, we are at 30 to 40 degrees Celsius on this entire setup right here. Now granted, we're in my office here versus in the mining room, but still, that's really good. These cards are doing phenomenal when it comes to airflow. Kudos to the team over at AAA Wave and their design with all of these fans, which is pretty crazy. Granted, nowhere near enough room for all the cabling, but that's okay. Anyways, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put links to everything down below. You will be able to find this case there. You'll be able to find the fans there. I'm trying to think what else. I'll put a link to the ATX power supply. I'm really liking this Super Flower one. I'll probably get some more of those, especially because it's fully modular. I'll put a link down below for our HP 750 watt power supply too, and everything else I can think about. Oh, the new AAA Wave risers. Yeah, we'll definitely put some of those down there too. So I'll try to put everything I can. This new 7-inch, dude, this is awesome. If I can get this nailed down as to how to build that, I think I'm probably gonna buy one of these for each of my rigs. It's just, and that's purely a cosmetic thing to be able to see that, but I do really like the fact of being able to have that as like a handheld tool in these build situations. That lucks out very conveniently as well. And then we'll put the iFixit kit sitting there in the back if you guys need a toolkit for mining as well. And we do have our voltage meter over here. This is all temporary. This will get moved into our mining room. You don't want to run this long term, guys. But if you need one of those, I'll throw one of those down below too. Anyways, guys, thank you guys very much for joining me for today's mining rig build. Excited to get another one of these AAA Wave rigs up and running. We have one more to do, and then we're gonna stack all three of these on top of each other. It's gonna be pretty cool. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time checking out the channel, consider subscribing. Take care.